in the field. And so, of course,
hold it right there, Aaron. Donald Trump is just walked down. He's taking questions from reporters in Derry, New Hampshire.
They're leaving Chicago. They're moving to Mexico, Nabisco. So if I were involved with Mexico at a high level or the head of Mexico, I would be saying the same thing. Look, we have to straighten out our country. Our country's a mess. And whether it's China or Mexico or Japan, we have to straighten out our country. I'd be saying the same thing, yes.
Yes or no, do you think the American-born children of undocumented immigrants should be deported?
Here's the story, very simple.
Yes or no?
I don't give yes or no. It's not that easy. You know, for you it's easy. Let me tell you, not that easy. It's a horrible situation that we've placed ourselves in. We have thousands and thousands of illegal immigrants in our country, not only taking jobs, but many of them are causing problems beyond belief. And you see that all over. We have to straighten out the problem with illegal immigration. It starts with getting the bad ones, you know, the gangs in, you saw it, the gangs in Baltimore. You know that, right? Did you see the people? You have illegal immigrants in many cases. In Chicago, illegal immigrants. The bad ones are getting out fast, day one. If I win day one of my presidency, they're getting out. We're getting them out, and we're getting them out fast. Over a period of time, we're going to work on numerous things. The first thing is building a wall, which Mexico will pay for, okay? We're going to build it. I know how to do it. It's going to be a real wall, not a toy wall like we have right now that's 10 feet tall, and it's a fence. We're going to have a real wall. And people are going to come into our country, and I want people to come in. I want people of great talent to come in. But I want a lot of people to come in. They have to come in legally. They've got to come in. If we don't have them come in legally, we don't have a country. We don't have borders. We don't have a country. They have to come in legally. I want them to come in. They have to come in legally. All right, go ahead, David.
Here's what I don't get about the immigration program. You want to build a giant wall, and if you build a giant wall, why worry about birthright citizenship? If you're going to keep illegal immigrants out, why have
there's a very big question as to the anchor babies. They've been talking about it for years. There's a very big question as to whether or not the 14th Amendment actually covers this. We're going to find out whether or not it does. Changing the 14th Amendment would take years and years, the long, drawn-out process. A lot of people think that it is absolutely, in terms of anchor babies, that it is not covered. So we're going to find out. But look, here's the story. Here's what happens. Wait a minute. Wait. Here's what's happening. A woman is going to have a baby. They wait on the border. Just before the baby, they come over to the border. They have the baby in the United States. We now take care of that baby, Social Security, Medicare, education. Give me a break. It doesn't work that way. The parents have to come in legally. Now, we're going to have to find out what's going to happen from a court standpoint. But many people, many of the great scholars, say that anchor babies are not covered. We're going to find out. Yes. Yes.
Education. There was a conference today, 6 candidates, other candidates there, much railing against the federal government's intrusiveness, emphatic statements of reform of the state-driven. No one went to Ronald Reagan's position that the federal Department of Education really shut down. You think it should be?
Well, I think large portions can be. I am not a Common Core person. Jeb Bush wants Common Core. I want local education. And I think large groups and large portions can be shut down. Absolutely. I have no question about that. You look at the Department of Education, they've done such a poor job. We're number 25 or 26 or 28 or 32, depending on which you look at, in the world. We spend, one thing we're number one at, and that's a definite number one. We spend more money per student than any country anywhere in the world. And we're way above number 25 in the world. So we are terrible at education, but we spend far more money than anybody else. The Department of Education has done a terrible job. I happen to be a person that does not believe in Common Core. I believe the people of New Hampshire locally should work mostly on the education. Do we allow little pieces? Yes. But largely, it should be shut down. And I'm very surprised to hear that other of the candidates don't want it touched, because that really does surprise me. Say it again.
Jeb Bush is in the state tonight for the town hall. You got under his skin?
Have I gotten under Jeb Bush's skin? I don't know. I will tell you this. You mentioned the word skin. He said the other day, one of the dumber things I've heard ever in politics, when talking about Iraq, that we, the United States, he said, have to show them that we have skin in the game in order to go into Iraq. We've lost $2 trillion, thousands of lives, wounded warriors who I love all over the place. And he's talking about we have to show them that we have skin in the game. And every time a shot is fired, they run, because there practically is no Iraq. And Iraq, whatever that is being taken over by Iran after us spending trillions and lives and warriors, wounded warriors. For him to say that we have to show them that we have skin in the game is one of the really dumb statements. I'd say his other dumb statement is an act of love, that they come here for an act of love. And I would say between Common Core, his act of love on immigration, and skin in the game with Iraq, that's the third one that we've now added, I don't see how he's electable. And then on top of that, he talks about women's health issues, and he's against women's health. Now, he then comes back a few hours later and he says he misspoke. But he's bad on women's health issues. Nobody's going to be better on women's health issues than Donald Trump. Yes.
You seem to see the world fairly cleanly divided as winners and losers.
No, I don't. No, I don't at all. I have a much bigger heart than other people, and frankly, than probably any of the candidates that I've heard so far.
Have you ever failed?
Excuse me?
Have you ever failed?
I don't. Not often. If you want to know the truth, have I failed? Not often.
Two men in Boston were arrested for allegedly beating up a Hispanic homeless man.
Who was?
2 men in Boston, 2 brothers, were arrested for allegedly beating up a Hispanic homeless man. And they told cops that it was okay because you were right on immigration. In addition to the Megyn Kelly alleged death threats, are you worried you're inciting violence?
I don't know anything about death threats for Megyn Kelly. You tell me about that. I haven't heard that.
There's reports that she's been threatened by your supporters.
Are you
I have no idea about that. In all fairness, I have. Excuse me. Take it easy. I have no idea about death threats from Megyn
What
Kelly.
about the Boston brothers who beat up the...
I haven't heard about that. I think that would be a shame, but I haven't heard about it. I will say the people that are following are very passionate. They love this country. They want this country to be great again, and they are very passionate. I will say that. And everybody here has reported it. Yes, go ahead.
Tone it down.
Have you heard what you think of Heidi?
Oh, go ahead. What do I think about what?
Heidi Klum's speech?
I think Heidi Klum is a very nice person. Go ahead.
Have you heard about the secret deal that was cut with Iran over allowing Iran to inspect its own nuclear facilities? And what do you think about it?
I think it's crazy. I think the whole Iran deal is the dumbest deal that you can imagine. I think it's going to go down as one of the worst deals in the history of this country, maybe of the world. It is a total and complete catastrophe. And you know, it's beyond even talking about it. So it's hard to believe that people actually, do we have negotiators? Do we have anybody that knows what they're doing? Not only the 24 days, which, by the way, it's much more than that, because the 24 days to start the clock takes a long time. Not only the fact that they still have our prisoners, every single aspect of that deal is incompetent. And it's a deal that shouldn't be approved. And the amazing thing is, even if it's not approved now, they get $150 billion plus. And they're going to use that money for terror all over the world. It is one of the great dumb deals of our time.
The White House had assured us that there were no side deals, and yet we find out today that, in fact, there was.
Well, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised to hear that there are side deals. The White House doesn't know what they're doing. I mean, that's been proven, whether it's Obamacare with a $5 billion website. The White House truly has no clue what they're doing. And the Iran deal is a disaster. It's a disaster. It's going to lead to, in my opinion, nuclear proliferation. It's going to so many things are going to come out of that deal for the bad. And I'll tell you, Israel is in big trouble. Probably something will happen because Israel, I don't know how Israel can live with that deal.
Martin O'Malley today is in Las Vegas, and he was staging an event in Vegas with some of the employees at your hotel, trying to get them to unionize. Do you have any response to what Martin O'Malley?
Well, I know nothing about him. I think he's got less than 1% on the poll. And I did see my beautiful building on television. It's a beautiful, tallest building in Las Vegas. I'm very proud of it. Most beautiful building in Las Vegas. I know he was in front. And as you know, we've won, let me say a nicer word. We've won with the employees. Let's see what happens. We have employees that love us. They decided not to go union. And that's a great honor as far as I'm concerned. You know, they love me, they love us. Martin O'Malley was there to try and get some publicity, which he desperately needs. And I think he was the one that said that lives don't matter. White lives don't matter. I mean, is he the one that apologized almost in tears because he made a mistake of saying? Is that the same Martin O'Malley that we're talking about? I think he should be ashamed of himself. But I really know that I heard he was in front of one of my buildings to try and get some publicity, and I think it was in Las Vegas. Yes.
There's a report that you are considering a joint appearance with Senator Ted Cruz, and you're in regular contact?
No, we're not. I have great respect for Ted Cruz, and he's been very supportive of some of my tough stances. And actually, he's done well. And guys like Perry and our senator from South Carolina, Lindsey Graham, who's got 0. How do you get 0? Could you explain to me? How do you get 0? Does that mean that of thousands of people that are polled, you get none? But he has nothing. The people that attacked me, now Rand Paul is going down the tubes. And he hit me all of a sudden. I mean, he was doing very poorly. He hit me. He went down. One of the great honors is that everybody that attacks me seems to go down. Ted Cruz and Carson, who's been, you know, really terrific. They've been great. A few of the others have been great. Meaning we all get along, because we should get along. But some of them attack me fairly viciously, and when they attack, you have to attack back.
Harley is going up.
Who?
Harley is going up in the polls.
She's a very nice woman. She really is. Go ahead. Go ahead.
James Foley was beheaded a year ago.
Yes, I know James Foley's parents very well.
I talked to John Mason this week. He said you would put ground troops in Syria to attack ISIS. And would you, and as you lead the Republican Party, do you find yourself spending more time thinking conceptually about how to defeat ISIS? And would you share your thoughts?
I would defeat ISIS. And I'm okay with what he said. But I would defeat ISIS, absolutely. And I think the whole James Foley thing, as you know, I was up here a year ago making a speech for Joe McQuaid and the group in honor of the Foley family and James Foley. And I got to know his parents very well, made a contribution to the foundation. James Foley was a fantastic young man. And we can't let that happen. We can't let that happen. We have to stop it, and we have to stop it fast, and we have to stop it. We have to stop it now. I've sort of explained that view strongly, and I would cut off big sources of their financing. Go ahead. Both, by the way, both at the bank level and at the oil level. Go ahead.
In 2012, you said that the GOP was mean-spirited on immigration. Now you seem to have the most hawkish stance.
I don't think I'm mean-spirited. We have to get back our country. Look, our country is going down. We have to get back our country. It's based on laws. These are illegal. Now, people like to say undocumented because that's politically correct. I don't say that. These people came in illegally. Some are excellent, they're fantastic, wonderful, but they have to go out. Now, they can come back in, but they have to come in legally. We can even expedite the process. I think that's fine. I like that. And then you have some really bad ones. The gangs. You got gangs roving, hurting people, killing people. You look at what happened to Kate in San Francisco. So we have to be able to get we got bad dudes out there, bad ones. And we'll get them out so fast. Let me tell you. If I'm president, we'll get them out of here so fast your head's going to spin. Yeah, go ahead.
You said at this point, Donald, at this point, you said said that you have a big heart and that you're not mean-spirited. Are you aware that the term anger baiting, that's an offensive term? People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct, and yet everybody uses it? So you know what? Give me a different term. Give me a different term. What else would you like to say?
The American-born child is an undocumented immigrant.
Oh, you want me to say that? Okay. No, I'll use the word anchor baby. Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. Go ahead.
Mr. Trump, do you believe that wealth equals wisdom?
No, not at all.
Well,
oh boy, would I be a smart person, wouldn't I?
Well, Mitt Romney got raped by the Democrats because he was a wealthy, successful businessman.
He wasn't very wealthy, no.
What makes you think the same would happen to you?
Was he wealthy? He let us down. Mitt Romney let us down. He should have won that election. He failed. He choked. In the end, no different than a golfer that misses a putt on the 18th hole. No different than a man who strikes out a baseball player. He let us down. Mitt Romney should have won that election, and he didn't. Something happened to him. And that's not going to happen to me.
What do you think? Mr. Trump, hundreds of people would happen to him.
I don't know. I can tell you this, he disappeared. At the end, he just disappeared. Say what you want about Obama. He was on Jay Leno, he was on Letterman, he was on all the shows. I called up I said, why aren't you doing more television? Why? Obama's on every show. Where are you? He just disappeared. Something happened. Honestly, I think he choked, okay?
Mr. Trump, hundreds of people are in line today.
The Democrats, and she's released a rather complete health assessment. You're the front runner of the Republicans. When are we going to hear about the state of your health, of your doctors?
I actually saw a doctor. I had a physical the other day, and they said, you are really good. Well, yeah, you can all hear it. Would you like to hear it? I would do that anytime. Yeah, very good.
Okay,
knock on wood.
To be clear, your father, rest his soul, you reported he died after a long battle with Alzheimer's disease.
He was 88 years old when he developed it, and he died at 94.
Did you have any concerns in that?
No, not whatsoever. No, he was 88. My mother was 88, 89. And she was in amazingly great health. So my father too was in great health. They lived long lives. Yes.
Mr. Trump, you said earlier in this press conference that you would support women's health. Could you give some more statistics on that? And do you think that some of the other candidates in the Republican race are out of touch on women's health issues?
Well, I think Jeb Bush is totally out of touch on women's health issues. I mean, totally. Because he basically said he wasn't going to fund it. Now, he came back after his pollster told him, oh, you made a mistake. He came back a few hours later and he said he misspoke. But I'll be very, very strong, very powerful on women's health issues.
Mr. Trump, hundreds of people are in line today.
Who do I see as strongest? You know, it changes from, the only thing constant is Trump. I mean, all of them change on the bottom. They're going up and down like yo-yos. But I've been up there for a long time, and I hope I'm going to be up there for a long time. You know, I read a lot of the phony reports, a couple of reports today in the paper saying, oh, well, you know, when Donald Trump gets tired of doing this, he's doing great, and he's leading all the polls, but at some point he'll get, I'm not going anywhere, folks. I'm not doing this for my health. I'm doing this to make America great again.
Mr. Trump.
And again is a very important word. Very important word. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Got a lot of money. I don't need people funding me like the other candidates. I have people coming up all the time wanting to give me millions of dollars. $5 million last week I turned down from one man. I said, I don't want your money. And I think that resonates with people. I really think. Excuse me? Well, sanctuary cities, it is a disgrace. What happened in San Francisco and other places, sanctuary cities should be defunded and should be just gotten rid of. Sanctuary cities are a disgrace. Go ahead. We'll talk about that. Go ahead. Well, somebody wrote an article that I was a whiner, that I complained. And I said, you know, he's actually right. I do complain. Because our country is in trouble. We're run by people that either are not smart, perhaps they're incompetent, perhaps they have a bad agenda, which I actually don't believe. I think they're just not very good at what they do. I think they're incompetent. And he said, I'm a whiner, I'm a complainer. And I am, I'm a complainer. And I said, I complain and complain and I whine until I win. And then I win. And I will win for the American people. We're going to have great trade deals. We're going to have a strong military. We're going to take care of our vets. We're going to take care of this country. We're going to get rid of Obamacare and come up with something that will be spectacular, that will be better for people. Look what's happening with the premiums on Obamacare. They're going through. Take a look at what's going on with the premiums. They're going through the roof, up 40%, 45, 50%. We will make our country great again. All right, maybe one more question. I'll give you 2 more. Say it again. Jeb Bush is a low-energy person. For him to get things done is hard. He's very low energy. Go ahead. Yeah. You know what we spend on illegal immigration right now? We're spending $130 billion a year. So if we can spend a similar amount and not have the problem, it'll be phenomenal. It's a good deal. That's a one-year payback. You know, not that I'm looking at that, but we do need it. Hey, we are losing as a country on a yearly basis billions and billions beyond anybody. They can't even believe it. You look at our trade deals. You look at what we're talking with illegal immigration. We have to straighten things out, and we will. But, you know, a lot of people are saying that, the plan. Building the wall is something that has to happen. It's not expensive. Won't be expensive. The reason it looks expensive is because you have people working on it that don't know what they're doing. It's not expensive. And that wall will save us. But, you know, the one thing I have to get before we leave, I want people to come into the country. I want them to come in legally. And I want really talented people also to come into the great workers, great talent. I want a lot of people to come into the country. But they have to come in legally.
May not be safe.
I love that question. What a good guy. Who are you? I love you. This is a great guy. Why can't you ask me a question like that? Look, we are crossing over. You know, it's very interesting. North Carolina just came out. A poll just came out, public policy polling. And I'm leading in North Carolina by a lot. And I'm leading against Hillary Clinton by a lot. A very important place and very important state and a great state. And a lot of things. And they went over the numbers. And so did many of the other polling companies. And I draw from Democrats, and I draw from conservatives and Tea Party. I draw from everybody. And people are a little surprised, straight across the board. But we draw more than anybody else from the Democrats, and that's good. You know, ultimately, we're going to have to do that if we're going to win. Go ahead, one question. You look so nice.
All the voters who say they love you, but they never vote for you.
I don't have too many of them. You know, all I have to do is take a look at the poll. You know what? That's changing. Excuse me. Say it legitimately. How much has that changed in the last 3 or 4 weeks? And in New Hampshire, it's so positive. And in, by the way, Iowa, it's so positive because they've gotten to know me. I've been here a lot, and I've been to Iowa a lot, and South Carolina a lot, where we have incredible numbers. And in the places where I go, my favorability is through the roof, including New Hampshire. Okay, I'm going to have to go. All right, we'll do one from you, but it's always a negative question from. Go ahead. Can you ask a positive question? Let's see if it's possible. Major's question. What? If necessary, I would do that, yes. We have to stop the ISIS. I didn't want to do Iraq. It was a big mistake. It should never have happened. The way we got out was also a big mistake. We cannot let ISIS continue to do what they're doing. So if necessary, the answer is yes. Okay?
So you say you're so welcome.
Thank you, everybody.
Have you ever worked on a body language coach? You have amazing.
Good evening. I'm Chris Matthews in Washington. We've been listening, of course, to Donald Trump. He's wrapped up his event with reporters, and he's about to hold his first ever town hall event with New Hampshire voters. This is real politics. We're going to bring you that live when it begins. Joining me right now is Robert Costa, national political reporter with the Washington Post. Howard Farm is the global editorial director at the Huffington Post. Kellyanne Conway is a Republican pollster, and Ron Reagan is an MSC contributor. Thank you all. I've got a lot of quips to bring back. It's good to have you all here. Let's go with the straight journalists right now in the beginning. Robert Costa, Why can't Hillary Clinton run a press conference like that? The way he instructs people how to ask him questions, he corrects them, he uses the gestures. It's like they're trained SEALs out there. Hillary Clinton gets overrun by them. Who's right and who's wrong in running a press conference?
It's a huge contrast, and Trump is...
Is that the right way to run a press? If somebody else tried talking to you guys like he does, would they get away with it?
I think he gets away with it because he has a comfort with being on that stage, with being at that podium. He's a celebrity. He's been in front of these cameras for 25, 30 years.
But when he tells people to shut up, they shut up. Ed Henry wouldn't shut up. If Hillary Clinton said, "Shut up, Ed," he wouldn't shut up.
That's true.
Would he?
No,
well, she wouldn't say it anyway.
There's totally different politicians. Totally different stuff. The Republicans.
You're defining the obvious.
I know.
But I'm just asking, Howard, you're the pro here. How does he get away with he's like a lion tamer with the chair. He's whipping them into action.
Because he knows that everybody out there is hanging on his every word. He has the confidence in that of a master salesman. This is a guy who's built his career in New York, which is the toughest media market in the world.
Minute by minute.
And minute by minute, when you're arguing to build a building, it's a constant campaign. He's run 1 million campaigns to build buildings in New York and Las Vegas and elsewhere. He's a master salesman, and more than that, he speaks the language of the American people. I've spent a lot of time in New Hampshire fairly recently. Those words about immigration, about ISIS, about James Foley, who's a New Hampshireite.
Yeah. I'm with him.
Okay, that is straight out of the mouth of your average male New Hampshireite. Females too, but predominantly male New Hampshireites who are going to be assertive about what they think is the lost greatness of America. He's got
a little joy.
Okay, let me try something on
speech.
Ron Reagan. It's great to have you back, my buddy. But a couple of things here that seem like nuance, but they work with this character. He talks American English. He says chokes. He says what's his name? Jeb is choking. He talks about his who he said. He said Mitt Romney chokes. These other candidates don't even know American idiom. They wouldn't even say the word choke, and yet that's the way we talk. Your thoughts? I know this isn't important as with the policy questions, but there's something in the style here that Hillary ought to learn from. The style, just directness.
Well, it's all style. Let's face it. He's actually kind of fun to watch, and he's very loose. He revels in the attention, and frankly, in my opinion at least, he's got nothing to lose. Donald Trump, again, in my opinion, is not really running for president. I don't think he really wants to be president.
Well, what's
Maybe
he doing?
he'd take it if it came to. He's running for the attention. He's
and
running
then what?
to
How does he
build
get
his
off the
brand.
stage?
How does he get off the stage? I think he runs as an independent eventually. If he likes this well enough, he runs as an independent. And think of the possibilities there of Donald Trump running as an independent.
If he loses that, if he gets 10 points, and he brings down the Republicans, they'll hate him for it. Like Democrats are angry at Ralph Nader still.
But he doesn't care. He doesn't care.
I think he
What
cares
does
about
Donald
his
Trump
image.
care whether the Republicans are mad at him? He doesn't care.
Because the brand.
I think he cares very much.
Yeah.
Hell, your thoughts?
He cares. Yeah, my thoughts. Well, you asked the question, Chris. Hi, that how is Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump different, and what can she learn from him? I think number one, he really enjoys being up there. He enjoys engaging the press. Hillary Clinton had a press conference yesterday. She looked like she was going in for a root canal. She was arguing with them. She seemed indifferent, a little bit arrogant, a little bit sarcastic. And I also see Trump at that podium as a man with confidence. Secretary Clinton used to have a great deal of confidence when she was up at a podium. Lately, she's reading prepared remarks from a binder and still flubbing her lines. She seems like she wants to be somewhere else. You cannot be joyless and run for president.
I thought she went into that press conference with a lot of joy yesterday until she met Ed Henry with his hammer jack or whatever. He just kept asking the same question, but it's a good point. I do agree there's a difference in quality. Just moments ago, by the way, to get the facts out here, Donald Trump continued his aggressive push against anchor babies, as he called them. Here he is right now.
There's a very big question as to the anchor babies. They've been talking about it for years. There's a very big question as to whether or not the 14th Amendment actually covers this. We're going to find out whether or not it does. Changing the 14th Amendment would take years and years, the long, drawn-out process. A lot of people think that it is absolutely, in terms of anchor babies, that it is not covered. So we're going to find out. Many of the great scholars say that anchor babies are not covered. We're going to find out.
Let's define the terms. It's a crude term. It's not very humane, but it's a term for women and families who come to America. They manage to get across the border, in these cases illegally. They have a baby here, but that baby becomes an American by the 14th Amendment, and that's the law of the land, and that's the Constitution, and everybody's accepted it till now. Now, as for the practice, and whether we like the practice or not, or the politics of it, Trump is exploiting it, I think.
He's exploiting it, and you listen to a reporter asked him about using the term anchor baby. He didn't back away from it.
What's another term?
You could say the child of an undocumented worker. I mean,
no, he's talking about the purposeful coming here just to have the baby here, so you have an anchor.
Robert's point is that he refuses to speak in the language of political correctness. He turns opposite way whenever he can. He wants to use the most basic
but
term
I can do it
possible.
the other way. Undocumented worker is not a very informative term.
And he insists on saying illegal.
Okay, well, I think illegal is really terrible. Anyway, Donald Trump was asked if he's gotten under Jeb Bush's skin. There's a pretty tough question for a reporter. I mean, what are you working for out there? Anyway, here's what Trump had to say.
Have I gotten under Jeb Bush's skin? I don't know. I will tell you this. You mentioned the word skin. He said the other day, one of the dumber things I've heard ever in politics, when talking about Iraq, that we, the United States, he said, have to show them that we have skin in the game in order to go into Iraq. We've lost $2 trillion, thousands of lives, wounded warriors who I love all over the place. And he's talking about we have to show them that we have skin in the game. Between Common Core, his act of love on immigration, and skin in the game with Iraq, that's the third one that we've now added, I don't see how he's electable.
We got Katie Tur joining us now. He's covering this for MSNBC and NBC. Katie, it just seems to me that he's made a point. There is a strategy to this sort of hot off your feet like he is here, cleverness and repartee. He's going after the leader that he has to knock off in the end. It's Jeb Bush. And he's like picking a fight with him, saying how he's skin in the game. He's questioning his nationalism, his sense of grievance about that stupid war in Iraq. He's hitting him where he's weakest, Iraq. What's that about? Because you've got a competing press conference going on right nearby here. Your thoughts? The strategy of Donald Trump.
Well, you know this. You punch up, and I think what the campaign sees is that Jeb Bush is his biggest threat, his biggest competitor in this race for the long haul. Jeb Bush might not be doing as well in the polls. He might not have the same energy and get the same crowds, but I think it's telling that he's singling him out as much as he does. He takes every opportunity he can to spar with Jeb Bush, and it's usually a one-way spar because Bush is trying to avoid talking about him completely. He can't quite because reporters keep asking about him. He's tried not to mention him by name, just saying the big personalities in the room. He was forced to comment on his immigration plan on Monday. And now today, even though Bush hasn't directly commented yet that I've seen on Trump holding a rally here in New Hampshire at the same time as him, just a few miles away, he is getting all the attention. This is going to be in the news for the next few days. This is the headline of all the news cycles. Trump and Bush have competing rallies. So Trump is doing this in a calculated way to get all the attention and to take the air out of the tires of Jeb Bush. Even though the air might not be so hot or so inflated at the moment, he's taking it for the long run. He's trying to deflate him for the primaries for months from now. It's a long game, Chris.
I love your consistent metaphors there, by the way. Let me go to Ron. I like consistent metaphors. Ron, it seems to me that the shot at Bush was right to almost to his solar plexus, if not to his groin. He's unelectable. That is the one thing Bush has been selling, that he's electable. It seems to me he's very focused. I think he's trying to win this nomination fight now. What do you think, Ron? With your dad, with your life? Is this the real thing or is this a reality TV show? It's beginning to look like a real thing to me.
Well, it can be both. I mean, he can be treating this as an opportunity to get attention, but he still likes to win. He doesn't like to lose at things. We know that about Donald Trump, and I think that shot at Jeb really was tough stuff. That may have been his best moment there at the press conference, and it does hit Jeb where he lives. And the other big story we've all been talking about Donald Trump.
He lives with his brother's war. Is who he lives with.
Exactly. He is, and he hasn't dealt with it effectively. But all this time that we've been talking about Donald Trump as the big story, and that's legitimate enough, I suppose. The other big story that's been happening at the same time is Jeb Bush, the establishment candidate, the guy who's been raising all the money, absolutely failing to gain traction, going down in the polls. The more people see of them, the less they think of him. This is the guy that's supposed to be the winner, and he just doesn't look like a savvy politician. He may raise a lot of money, but he doesn't have the one thing that money can't buy, and that's charisma.
Yeah. By the way, do you think Phil Griffin, the president of this network, is calling me right now saying, get over to that Jeb press conference. You're missing the big story. What's the matter with you guys? Kellyanne, there's a reason what we're moths to the flame here, but there's only one flame. I don't want to cover Scott Walker. There's nothing to these guys. I don't want to do Huckabee, Chuckabee, whatever his name is. He's been around forever with the same old country boy sermon. It's yesterday. I don't want to hear it. This guy at least is thinking on his feet, and he is entertaining. I'll admit
He's
it.
entertaining. Yeah.
And then, by the way, up against Hillary,
He's entertaining,
give me
Chris, but
Hillary
he's
Clinton
also...
against him tomorrow night. Just give me prime time tomorrow night. An exhibition match for the
Oh, it'd
Foley
be
family.
delicious.
Just do it. Just look at the
delicious.
audience.
Great.
Look at the audience.
It's great for ratings, Chris. It'd be delicious. I just hope Hillary can hang on long enough to actually be the Democratic nominee. That's my hope. But look, when
The way
Donald
you
Trump
put these
broke
lines,
news
that was
today-
another knife in the back from you. That was a
when
knife.
actually he said, but
First of all, you don't hope for the hang on. You don't want her to hang on. You were just putting it to.
I
oh,
do
you
want her
don't.
to hang on.
Okay, good.
I do, and here's why. I worry that if she gets pushed out of the race too early, Chris, then you got Elizabeth Warren stepping in. She's got plenty of time to raise the money and take that mantle. But
You think
let's
that's
get
gonna
back to the word
happen?
electable. This is so important to a conservative
Just
like
before we
me
go off to the crazy
hear-
car again, do you actually think Elizabeth Warren is eventually going to go into this race?
If Hillary is truly damaged and if she exits on her own, yes.
Okay, thank you for the if.
Why not?
We're waiting right now. No, there's a lot of if there. We're waiting. When Hillary Clinton quits this election, we're going to shut down this show, okay? We're waiting now for Donald Trump to hold his first town hall meeting as a presidential candidate. He's up in Derry, New Hampshire right now. We're going to wait. We're going to bring you that when it happens. And this town meeting is going to be just as exciting as so far. Anyway.
I'm the leading state sponsor of terrorism.